Hey guys, this is our third video in a series looking at the transition from 7v7 to 9v9. So let's go. Today we're talking about set pieces, and just a reminder guys, these videos in this series I made for my team. It's not specifically for coaches. So that's really the audience, but I think you're gonna get a lot out of it anyway. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Hey guys, we're back for another video looking at how we're going to play this year. This is the third video. The first one was on build out. Second one was on attacking patterns. This one's going to be about set pieces. This is our formation at 7v7, the 2-3-1. We've kind of gone through this before, and I think you guys have a pretty good understanding that we're now at 9v9, adding these two central midfielders in between our 6 and our 9. Okay, and so we're in a 4-3-1. So let's begin with our starting positions on corner kicks. So first things is who's going to take the corner, right? And while, at some point we might have designated corner guys who take the corners, the simplest thing that we're going to do is, depending on which side the ball goes out, the wing on that side is going to take the corner. Let's say the ball goes out here, out the right side here, okay? It's the 2 who's going to take the corner, or at least have their foot on the ball when we start. The attacking center midfielder on the side the corner is on. So in this particular scenario, it's the 8 is going to come and line up for a short corner right here. And we're going to do this every single time until we start getting a little bit more intricate with how we do these corners. The striker, the attacking center mid on the opposite side, here the 10, and the wing on the opposite side. They're all going to line up between where the arch hits the 18 on the opposite side and where the corner of the 18 on the opposite side is, in a straight line like I've depicted here. Our defensive center midfielder is going to be about 5 yards above the arch, right in this area. 2 center backs are going to come just over the half line here, kind of in the center part of the field, and then our keeper should be out of goal. Okay, should kind of look like this. So I've added defenders here, and typically at our level, the defenders are not particularly organized in terms of how they're going to defend the corner. Now maybe they might be. Usually they're just kind of man marking as best they can. So this might look a little bit different when we get into the games, but the concepts are the same. So first thing we're going to ask ourselves with these 2 guys here is what the defenders are doing. Okay, so if they don't bring anybody, which could happen, especially if we play the corner quickly, we're just going to go ahead and play it short. So the ball goes out from our wing to our attacking center mid on this side, from the 2 to the 8, and this is really the critical piece. Fullback has to go around the 8 like this. You can't just go forward, because there's a really good chance if it passes back here, they're going to be offside. The 8 is going to take his space until engaged, and from here he might go 1v1 against the 3, maybe try to beat him to the line here to get a cross off. Or if he's got a 2v1 situation and he can get the ball over here to the 2, who's kind of lapping over him here, can play it here, and then we can play a ball in, either a shot or we can get a cross in. Now, if they bring one person here to deal with the short, okay? First of all, we got to make sure that we get 10 yards. So if they come up like this, don't play the corner yet. Just wait for the referee to give us 10 yards. If they do this, we still are in a great position because it's 2v1. So we're going to play it short again. Ball plays here. Again, critical piece of the fullback overlapping here, coming around. And now you've got 2v1. And so again, you can go 1v1 here, right? Try to beat him inside. Or again, if he closes your space down, we pop it in here and we look to play. Now, eventually we might start doing this, and they might bring 2 defenders, okay? If they bring 2 defenders, now it's 2v2, which is less than ideal for us, okay? If they bring 2 defenders, then we're going to look to play the ball in, okay, for a long ball. Okay, so let's look at this scenario again with one person pressuring, right? So we're going to look to play a 2v1. Ball's going to come out here. 2's going to go run around in this way. All right, and let's just say that the 3 closes the space off here and we get it in here, okay? And so now the 2 can take a shot, or he can cross the ball in looking for our dedicated runs, okay? These are the same dedicated runs we would do on a cross that we talked about with the attacking pattern. So the 9 would make a curved run into the near post. The attacking center midfielder on the opposite side makes a curved run into the penalty spot, and the 3 makes a curved run into the far post. What we like to see happen here is the 6 maybe gets forgotten a little bit, because people are kind of worried about these runners. And if that's the case, the 6 just needs to step right here onto the arch. And usually you have to go a little bit closer to the side of the ball, the side the ball's on. And if we can just play a ball in here, boom, we'll have a shot right away. Okay, so these are the 4 runs that you're going to make. And that goes if for whatever reason, let's say we decide to play it long. So here in this case, they brought 2. We're gonna decide to go long here. Okay, so the 8 is still gonna stay because I want to keep both of these guys out of the box. I really want the least number of defenders in the box if we're gonna go cross it in long anyway. So the ball is gonna go long. He's gonna pick out near post, far post, or penalty spot. Arm up and then arm down. And as the arm's going down, it's the same runs. So the 9 goes to near post, 10 goes to the penalty spot, and the 3, the wing on the opposite side, goes to the far post. Okay, and the 6 would kind of pop in right here. A couple more things to add here, guys. So if you are the striker, the attacking center mid on the opposite side, or the wing on the opposite side, and you're in this kind of line here, you don't have to just stand still. You can kind of move around a little bit, go back and forth, and it doesn't always have to be the same positions. Like, it doesn't only have to be the 9, the 10, and the 3, right? So the 9 maybe is over here, the 3 is maybe over here, maybe the 10 kind of goes like this, and you guys should be moving around a little bit. You want to make it difficult for these guys, and so if the 7 is going to mark the 10 and he's moving here, and maybe they're still setting up the corner, not sure what they're going to do, the 3 pops back over here, the 10 kind of comes up, and now the 7's got to come over here, and the 2's got to come here, and it just kind of confuses them a little bit. The runs are the same, so if the 9's always going to go to the near post, so whether the 9's back here, right, whether the 9's in the middle, whether the 9 is front, it doesn't matter. They're always going to make a curved run into the near post. Okay, same thing with these guys here. Now the 6, I don't really want you moving around that much. Like I said, I kind of want you forgotten. And then the other thing to mention, and again, guys, we might introduce a couple more complicated corners as we get into the season. This is really just a starting point. But the one thing that I do want to say is if we do play it, and no matter what happens, we play it long, we play it short, and it gets in here, kind of bounces around, and it kind of gets knocked out, and now you've got a counter press. Okay, like you've got a transition moment and they're going the other way. The responsibility to slow this down, and I really use those words, specifically, we're not trying to win this ball. Okay, we're trying to slow down the ball carrier. So the last thing that can happen here is we try to go win the ball and we lose it. It's the responsibility of the 2 center backs. Okay, and if there's some kind of a breakaway here, the center back closest to the ball has to step. Okay, and when they step, it's not a step to win the ball. Okay, because if he steps and misses, we're in huge trouble. What we're trying to do is force the ball wide, okay, and slow them down. So just get in front of them, hold your space. Get them to try to have to dribble this ball out in here. Or even if it's like this and we slow them down and they play that ball out here, while not ideal, it still buys time. That's the job of the center back on the side the ball's closest to. The job of the center back that is opposite on the other side to where the ball is to get to the middle of the field. And you try to hold that position, okay, the whole way. Right? And then obviously everybody else has to try to get back as quickly as possible. And you're really trying to take an angle. So let's just go back to this scenario where the ball gets played here, okay? And we're able to slow them down and it gets wide. The 8 needs to be on their horse on an angle this way, okay? We don't need to go towards the ball carrier here, right? We want to take an angle where we could intercept them. Okay, because the person with the ball typically is going to be slower than if you don't have the ball. So instead of taking an angle going towards the ball, take an angle that's parallel and just shuts them down again to try to slow them down. Okay, on a counter situation like this, we don't need to win the ball, we just need to slow them down. All right, guys, we're going to go and move on to throw-ins now. And you can see I have us in our 4-3-1 formation. And just like the corner kicks, the wing on whichever side the ball goes out is going to take the throws. So here, if the ball goes out on the right side of the pitch, say the ball's out right here, our right wing, our right fullback is going to be taking the throws. Now, starting positions, how we set up positionally on a throw. If you are the 9, you need to be down the line right about here. If you are the attacking center mid on the same side that the ball is on, you need to be in line with our thrower, so with the fullback. If you are the center back on the same side that the ball went out on, you have to be the option behind. It's important that the center back on the opposite side slide over. Okay, keeper should slide over. All right, our 6, I kind of just want to stay right in the middle of the field here. Okay, and then everybody else can kind of slide in a little bit, okay, and just kind of come over like that. But I want to make sure we have plenty of room here for these three main options. Okay, these are going to be the three main options. Now, if for whatever reason we're in a part of the field and absolutely nobody covers the 6, maybe we can throw there, but I don't want to get too intricate here yet. What I want to do is just look at these three options, okay? So you can see we kind of have a little bit of a diamond here, and the 8 might actually end up getting a little bit closer to the 2 like this when they receive the ball. But in general, this is the shape that we want to look at when we're doing throw-ins. So we're adding defenders, and we're going to have 3 options, okay? And it's really important that you scan through these options as quickly as possible, and you don't have to wait. So once the wing picks up the ball, put it up, get it ready over your head, looking to play a ball in as soon as possible. The first option is always the 9 down the line, okay? I want to be really careful that we don't just force it down here. You're going to see most teams just take the ball and shove it as far forward as possible, and that's not what we're going to do. We're going to play this ball, but we're not going to play it a lot because most of the time the defenders, a lot of times they'll have 2 guys here, and they're very cognizant of this because, again, most teams are just going to chuck it down the line. If you're the 9, okay, and you can play fast, you can get down here, go ahead and get down there, play it to him right away, throw it, boom, okay, and then we're off. If, for whatever reason, it's not on right away, we can still look there, but the 9's going to have to lose his man. And we talk about this concept quite a bit, guys. If you want the ball down the line here, your first movement has to be this way. Okay, so if you play striker for us, and you can, you're going to play a quick throw, and it's going to go right away. Yeah, run down the line. That's fine. But if not, your first movement's going to have to be here. And this is where a fake throw comes in real handy, where you just put the ball up and fake like you're going one way. So maybe fake like you're going to go to the 8 or the 4. This 9 starts losing their man, brings their guy up here, and then boom, you play a ball down the line. Okay, that's where that becomes real dangerous, losing your man and then faking the throw. Okay, and we're going to work on that in training. But that's option number 1. Now, option number 2 is our center mid here. Again, this sometimes can be a very congested situation. Sometimes it looks like this. Okay, so this is, again, not an option we're going to force, but we're going to look at. So once we've looked and saw that 9's not really an option, that's option number 1, we're going to take our eyes, look at 8. Let's say it is kind of 1v1 here. Again, the ball, where we want that ball is in this space here, okay, which means the first place you have to go is either here to drag your man this way, and then you come here, or you have to drag your man out this way and then pop into this space. Either way, you have to create some separation. And even then, this is a situation where you're probably not going to have a ton of space, and you're likely going to have back to pressure right away. So this is a situation where we're going to play the ball to our center midfielder, who's going to play it right back to the wing, because they're going to be back to pressure here almost every single time. Now, if you can turn, because you're going to check your shoulder, that attacking center midfielder on the same side of the throw is going to turn and go. Okay, we're going to encourage that, of course. But the vast majority of the time on these throws, there's going to be back to pressure, and then immediately we're just going to play the ball back here because no one's going to cover the throw. So we got to be ready for that option. And if that happens, boom, now we just play. Okay, and then maybe we can play the ball into our 9 here, down the wide area. Maybe the 8 can kind of get free, and we're playing like 1-2 here. Or if it's all closed off, we'll just go back and reset and switch field. Okay. The third option, which I want to look at, I would say quite a bit, all right, is the option back to the center back. Now the center back's positioning is very important here. We can't be right next to the ball carrier because that's going to get us nowhere. We have to be, and look, the 9 might, if you're that close, the 9 might come out here. Okay, but if you track back, way back here, it is very unlikely. Now maybe when we start playing it, that the 9's going to come all the way back here with you. And if they do, that's great for us. We'll take the 9 out of it, and we can play the 8. We could even look to come over here and play ball to the 6 or the 5 if they're going to do that. But that's really not going to happen. Most of the time, the 9's going to stay, and it's going to look something like this. This is what the vast majority of our throws are going to look like, where the 9 and the 8 are pretty well covered. We could always try a ball here and there, but I want us to really focus on option number 3, which is playing that ball back to the center back. Okay, if we do that, okay, and the 5 is ready to go, we're going to switch the field, and we can switch it through a direct center back to center back pass, or if that 9, let's say, got here, we can just play that ball back to our goalkeeper, and now we're switching field. And this becomes really important because you can see here they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 outfield players on this side of the pitch, and they only have 3 over here. So if we can switch it fast enough, we can create an overload on this side of the field. So as that ball's coming over, whether it came directly from the center back or whether we switched through our goalkeeper, the 5's going to be here, and likely the 9's not going to have enough time to recover. And so if that's the case, we want 5 to take his space, 3 has to get wide, everybody has to start shifting over. Ideally, we would try to get this ball over here so we have a 2v1 with their wing, okay? Because again, if that's the case, likely he's going to have to mark, and if he doesn't, we can just keep coming or look to play a ball into the 10. But most of the time, the wing will jump, and then now we've got a ball out wide to our wing who can get into a dangerous area to cross or make something else happen. Okay, so I want to make sure on those throws you got option 1, which again is the 9 down the line. Option 2 is a combination, typically because there's back to pressure with the center midfielder on the same side and the fullback, the guy who threw the ball in. Option number 3 is a switch. And I really want us to get comfortable with switching. And again, that switch can go center back to center back, or it can go through our goalkeeper out the other side where we try to create an overload off a throw. Okay, so we're going to finish out here just talking about free kicks in general, what we're going to do, kind of our philosophy and strategy. And it really depends on where on the field this happens. If the free kick happens in our half or just as we get into our opponent's half, we're just going to play the ball from our center back and play it out. So for example, let's say we get a foul here. All we're going to do is we're going to have the center back closest to the ball come right here, and we're going to position everything around him as we normally would and just play the ball as if we were actually playing in real time. So fullback would be here, 8 would be right here. We'd try to form this diamond we always talk about. 9 would be high, 10 would be right here, 5 would be right here for support, 1 would come over to support, and the 3 would pop up here. And then depending on what the defenders gave us, if the 8 was open, we could obviously play him here. We could play the 6, and we just switch field, play the 5. We're not going to just blast the ball down the field and hope something happens if the free kick is nowhere near our goal. Now, if the free kick is in our opponent's half, really into the half where we have an opportunity to get a goal scoring chance, it's going to depend on if the ball is wide or if the ball is central. So if the ball is wide, so if we get a free kick, let's say right down here, we are going to play this the same way we play corners, except we're probably not going to do a short corner. We'll have, again, the wing on that side take the kick. We will have our striker, our attacking center mid, and our wing on the opposite side line up here. The 6 will come down right above the arch. We're going to have our center backs right here. 8, we're going to have actually come down and join this area here and come in for a cross. So in terms of the runs here, if we have 4, like if both attacking center mids are here, which eventually on our corners we probably will have both attacking center mids here. So the runs are the same for the 9, goes near post. The wing on the opposite side, it goes far post. The attacking center mid on the opposite side, which in this case was the 10, goes penalty spot. The 6 is looking for a knockdown right around the arch, and the attacking center mid on the same side is going to make a run into this area here. Again, kind of looking for a knockdown. So if the free kick happens in the middle of the field and we have a shot at goal, we're going to set up like this, and the coaches will tell you who's going to take the shot. Okay, and it's usually going to be one of the center backs or maybe the 6, just because positionally they're in the center of the field. So this is what it would look like, and what we're going to want to do is position ourselves on the opposite sides of the wall, and really, these aren't really runs, so to speak, is that we're just looking to try to get a rebound to kick it in, right, to score. So a ball would come out here, let's say the goalkeeper stops it, bounces out here, hopefully we've made a run, and we can just one touch it in. So guys, hopefully that gives you an idea of what we're doing on corners, what we're doing with throw-ins, and then what we're doing with free kicks. There'll be a lot more to add to that. We're actually going to have some set plays on throw-ins and some set plays on free kicks. We might add in some other corners as we go throughout the year, but this is really just how we're basically going to approach these situations. So we'll see you guys in training, and we'll work on it. All right.